안녕하세요. 저는 Amelie입니다. Hello, my name is Amelie, and this is my Capstone Project. For my capstone project, I decided to do an investigate and report type project. I thought hard about what aspect of my interest did I want to dive into and explore to learn more about through this project. Finally, I settled on my passion for Korean culture and K-pop specifically, and created the inquiry question, what influence does South Korean culture and entertainment have on global media, trends, and day-to-day life? When you look at a girl like me, you wouldn't choose me out of a crowd as a fan of K-pop and Korean culture. Therefore, I felt almost compelled to talk about it in this capstone project because it's such a huge part of my life and I want it to be known about myself. When doing my research, I chose to focus on 3 specific topics: K-pop, K-dramas, and technology production. I learned all about how Korea grew into such an influential country despite having faced not only the Korean War but also the 30-year Japanese occupation that challenged their culture. Their determination and boldness pushed them to rebuild their country into the 10th largest economy in the world in 2022. Their music, TV, and technology have reached almost every corner of the globe, and I wanted to know why. Turns out it had a lot to do with sharing via the media and the billions of dollars that they put into rebuilding their capital Seoul to attract tourism. Their influence has touched millions of people, including myself, to a point where I am now hooked and want to learn everything about it. As with everyone, my capstone project began with my proposal. As I had already come up with a topic, my inquiry question came easy to me and I was able to start my research right away. My mentor for my capstone project was Mr. Lalonde, a teacher of socials, 20th century world history, and English learning language here at McMath. As a historian and a K-pop fan himself, I thought he would be perfect to not only discuss my progress, but also have really fun conversations about what I was finding, as we both share an interest in Korean culture and influence. I met with him a total of 3 times, and each time was very fun and interesting, and looking back, I'm really thankful that I was able to have him as a mentor. He was very happy to learn about all that I was learning about, and he was very supportive the entire time. When conducting my research, I used a variety of different resources ranging from a Time magazine titled For the Love of K-pop, a BBC documentary talking about Korean goods production and how it has grown since the war, and an array of articles and web pages that I listed at the bottom of my research report. In addition to these resources, I also collected my own data by creating a survey. The survey has questions such as, have you ever heard of K-pop? Have you ever seen a K-drama? Have you ever been to a Korean restaurant? To get a sense of how Korean culture had touched the people that are around me. I handed out the survey to people in my family, at my work, at my school, and my extracurricular activities, and calculated the results into percentages, which I represented in a graph that's in my research report. Honestly, I was not surprised to see how many people had been touched by Korean culture. It is undoubtedly everywhere and has become a part of everyone's lives, whether it's very subtly or painfully obvious, as in my case. Once I had collected all of my information, I needed to condense my notes in order to be left with the key points and arguments of my findings. That part was probably the most challenging for me because there was just so much that I had to say and that I wanted to say, but it would have been much too long and could have gone off topic at times, and I really wanted to make sure that my report focused on those 3 topics that I had chosen at the beginning. Once I had done that, I began to write my final project, my research report, having done some background research on how to properly format your research report. When I was finished, I had my mentor, Mr. Lalonde, and my family read over it to give me some feedback. Despite a few grammatical errors here and there, they gave me some really positive feedback, expressing how it was clear that I had understood what I had learned and explained it effectively, which made me feel really good about what I had accomplished and satisfied with my end result. In addition to all that I learned regarding Korea's cultural influence, I learned how to conduct professional research and create a formal research report. This project made me discover how to maintain focus and interest on a long-term project and how to manage and plan my time around working on it. I have come to further appreciate Korea's culture, and my discoveries have deepened my desire to experience their culture hands-on. Now, how does this all relate to my post-secondary education and even my future? Well, on April 25th, I will be starting a Korean beginner class with UBC to start to learn the language, and my plan is to minor in Asian Studies Korean in addition to my Bachelor of Media Studies at UBC in the fall. My goal for the future is to even get a job in South Korea and live there for a couple or even a few years, and fully immerse myself in their culture. I feel as though this capstone project has educated me and prepared me for the next few steps towards my end goal, as I now know more about their culture and how it came to reach me. And that was my capstone project. Thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. 안녕!